What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys in a video. And today we're doing What If Lee was a Jinchuuriki, episode 1. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. In this timeline, Hashirama decided to not only keep the 9 tails, but also the 4 tails, since he might as well keep 2 of the nukes instead of 1 like a complete idiot. He would give the monkey monster to the clanless ninja, so they aren't weak, and because of the rule that no one clan can control the Biju. Whenever the 4 tails Jinchuuriki would get old or would die, a vote from every clanless person would go around to see who would be chosen for the new Jinchuuriki. Son Goku would never like his Jinchuuriki since they always treat him like a weapon instead of an actual creature, so they'd never be on positive terms. It'd mean that the timeline would play out somewhat normally throughout the timeline past the Kyuubi incident. When it comes to the time to pick a new Jinchuuriki, they decide on picking someone young like a child in the academy, since that way it's likely that they won't have to switch Jinchuuriki for a while. Clanless Jonin would meet with the council discussing on who should be placed in the vote. Might Guy would speak up, confessing that he's taken a young boy as a student, who can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, but he has a fiery spirit and determination to handle the massive tailed beast. While the council and Jonin are all extremely reluctant, they trust Might Guy and place Lee's name in the vote. The Hokage would come in front of the public, telling them the names of the nominees. When coming to Rock Lee, he'd mention how he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, but his skills have been recognized by the taijutsu master Might Guy. The crowd all see this as intriguing, seeing how Guy is very powerful, and Lee gets a lot of votes, for the sake of the what if, but also because Guy's pretty cool, he'd probably get a lot of votes behind him. Lee would be taken and has Son Goku sealed within him. Once the sealing process is finished, and Lee has some time to recover, he'd go with Guy to test his newfound power. With the power of the Yonbi, Lee is able to reduce lava release ninjutsu, making him cry due to his power. Lee would get some training to learn the capabilities of what he can and can't do. He would of course be able to use lava release ninjutsu, as well as fire and earth release, since they are what make up the Kekkei Genkai. However, he can't use the others since it isn't a power he was gifted. He also still can't use genjutsu, which isn't exactly important, but I thought I should mention it. Due to the Yonbi being weaker than the Kyuubi, the seal they use for it is much more simplistic than the one on Naruto's body. This means that Lee would be able to communicate with his Biju. Lee would begin to meditate, going into the realm that he and the monkey share. Once seeing him, Lee asks if he's a Four Tails, making the beast scream at Lee to refer to him as the legendary Son Goku. As he finishes his speech, Lee begins to weep yet again, thanking him for allowing him to use his power. Son Goku questions Lee, asking why a human no less would thank him. Once wiping away his tears, Lee would tell the Biju a story about not being able to use ninjutsu or genjutsu, but being his Jinchuuriki granting him the ability to use it partially, thanking him for allowing him the chance to be a ninja. Despite him not having a trust for humans, for some reason he feels that Lee is different. He doesn't show his feelings at first, treating him like the rest of his vessels, but over time he begins to warm up to him, seeing how determined he is to get stronger and how he truly sees Son Goku as something beneficial and his own being instead of just a weapon. When being placed on Team Guy, Neji would have even more of a distaste for his teammate. He tells Lee that he's only a shinobi due to the beast within his gut. He's a military asset, and his fate is to die fighting for the village. This annoys Lee, and it angers Son Goku that a human refers to him as a mere beast. Lee jumps at Neji, who uses his Byakugan to see it coming, moving to the side to dodge a kick, before hitting him from behind on the back to knock him down. Jumping back up, Lee turns around at Neji, as he enters his stance, ready to begin battle, telling Lee that his fate will be to lose. Knowing of the Hyuga, Son Goku tells Lee to activate his lava armor, which Lee does, being covered in the hot magma. Due to the thickness of the layer the armor gives Lee, the gentle fist will need a lot more strength behind it to probably impact his chakra nodes. Plus, Neji can't leave his hand on Lee for long without burning the flesh on his hands. Lee lunges at Neji, who uses rotation to knock him away. It's the only real thing he can do that allows him some chance to defeat his opponent in battle. Once getting up, Lee keeps diving at Neji, trying to speed boost him, or uses sheer power to push through the rotation, both strategies proving to be ineffective. Neji would use these to his advantage, getting pot shots in on Lee, so he's flung back from the rotation, doing some damage but not a lot. Lee dives at Neji, who instead of using his rotation, hits Lee hard in the gut. Instead of Lee flying backwards, he holds onto Neji's arm, causing it to burn and sizzle up. Neji uses rotation to fling Lee away, as his burnt arm goes limp. Both Lee and Neji lunge at each other in combat before Guy appears in front of both of them, appearing seemingly instantaneously. He hits them both down, telling them that they shouldn't be battling like that. Lee would apologize while Neji simply leaves. Despite Guy intervening, the Hyuga member sees this as a loss, leaving the burn wound on his arm as a reminder he needs to beat Lee. He trained even harder so he can beat Lee eventually. Lee would begin training with Guy to improve his taijutsu since he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu outside the Kekigenkai he was granted. He'd improve quite quickly, however he only achieved 4 out of the 8 gates due to him having other skills to focus on. Lee would meditate trying to activate his zombie cloak, but struggles to activate the version 1 cloak as the strain on his body becomes too much. Nevertheless, he'd keep trying since Lee is nothing except resilient. Seeing how Lee would want to better his fire and earth style skills, Guy would seek out another mentor for a student to learn some jutsu from. Guy would ask Kakashi, who'd be reluctant but agrees, training Lee on occasion, teaching him some basic fire and earth jutsus to make him stronger. These training sessions would slow and eventually stop once Kakashi gets his own genin team. Lee would seek out Kakashi for a training session, while he's with Team 7, ecstatic to see him with his own squad. He'd see Sakura and Sasuke, and would have a good laugh with himself and his Biju about it, seeing them as Neji and Tenten. Sun isn't paying attention to him though, getting Lee to pay attention to the blonde boy in the orange. He tells Lee that he also possesses the Biju, a Kyuubi in fact. Seeing someone just like him excites Lee to no end, as he jumps over to speak with him. "Hello, Ninetales boy. What's your name?" Naruto looks at Lee a bit confused, stating his name to him. Before Lee can continue, Kakashi leaps over and stands in front of the two, telling Lee to go and wait by the training grounds. Kakashi would get his team a basic D-rank mission before going over to see Lee, telling him about how no genin should know about it, especially Naruto. Lee understands, promising not to slip up again despite his curiosity. Despite his promise, Lee would go and find Naruto later, apologizing for his outbreak. He'd tell Naruto he looks like a strong ninja, asking him to be friends, which Naruto would be reluctant about, especially due to Lee's appearance being odd and ugly. Lee would beg Naruto, however, praising him for being such a powerful ninja, which Naruto would eat up and agrees. Curious to see what powers Naruto have, Lee asks him for a spar, which I'm sure Naruto would agree to. They go to the training grounds where Naruto tells Lee to try and keep up. He creates a bunch of shadow clones and sends them at Lee, who uses mastery of taijutsu to easily make them dispel. Naruto tries using ninja weapons to take Lee down, who easily weaves around them. Seeing this, Naruto just makes more shadow clones, which begins to bore Lee, asking if he has any other skills, which Naruto would think about and says no. Well, what's the point in being in Jinchuuriki if you get no skills from it? It immediately registered in Lee's mind what he just said, as he covered his mouth, making Lee question what Jinchuuriki is. Son Goku tells Lee that he might as well tell him, telling him to fist bump Naruto. When doing so, Son Goku begins to speak to Naruto, explaining that while Naruto holds the Nine-Tails Kurama, Lee holds the Four-Tails Son Goku. Naruto is amazed to see someone else like him, as well as learning about the Nine-Tails' name. Due to the complexity of his seal, he can't communicate with Kurama, so he's left with basic knowledge at the moment, and nothing else. Lee and Naruto would meet quite often to get ramen and talk, becoming good friends quite quickly. They'd spar together as well, making Naruto a tiny bit stronger when it comes to taijutsu. The Land of Waves arcs would play out normally beat for beat, with Naruto developing his ninja way, returning to the leaf. He'd tell Lee how he and Sasuke almost died, which makes Lee realize he has to teach Naruto jutsu, so he can be safe. I'm going to leave a poll in the community tab about this. Does Lee teach Naruto an earth jutsu or a fire jutsu? Remember, your vote matters, it changes the story drastically, as it demonstrated, so choose wisely. Because guys, that's not going to be it. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below. Subscribe in the next episode. This is a good April Fool's what if. You guys really like Lee, so I figured I might as well give him some shine in a what if. I also really like Lee. My favorite Biju besides Kurama is Son Goku, so it kind of just makes sense. And yeah, bye!